Hello and welcome to our webinar on music notation more with Capella software. My name is Dominik and I will introduce you to the Capella software world. With me is Felix, who will present you our software. First of all, I would like to say thank you to the AGO for giving us the opportunity to present our software to the AGO members. We are very pleased about the cooperation with the AGO, which allows us to offer you our software at a special price. I will come back to this at the end of our presentation. So let's start right away. Here's a brief agenda of our webinar. First of all, I would like to say a few words about Capella software and give a software overview. Then Felix will show you music notation with Capella and also some related software of our product family. And finally, I will give you some more pricing and contact information. So what does Capella stand for? We have been creating software around music notation for more than 30 years now. Our aim is to produce easy to use and intuitive music software at moderate prices, which is aimed at individuals, music groups, and associations in the amateur and also the professional area. So sometimes when I'm presenting Capella, I'm asked whether Capella shouldn't be spelled with 2P instead of 1P, as it is done in a cappella music. But in fact, it's not a typo. Capella is not derived from a cappella music, but Capella is also a brightly shining star in the sky in the constellation Auriga. More specifically, it's not a single star, but it's a whole star system. In that sense, these are our Capella stars. In the middle of our sky, there's Capella, our music notation software. And around, there's more software like Capella Skin, Capella Audio to Score, Tonika, and Capella Reader, which I'll shortly present you now in the following. Our music notation software is Capella, and its current version 9 comes with two novel features, which is automatic object placement and multi-selection, which make note entry and note editing very fast. The software is available for both Windows and Mac, like all our software, and the license will work on both platforms. If you want to scan music from paper or PDF, you can use Capella Skin. Capella Skin recognizes music symbols and text and shows them in green color. It also supports music XML, which is important because the result can be used independently in other music notation software. So if you have your preferred music notation software and you do not want to switch to Capella, you may easily export the recognition result as a music XML file and import that into your preferred notation software. Next software is tonika. Tonika is a music composition software. So it composes and analyzes scores, variations, accompanying patterns, figured bars, and even canons and fugues. It uses artificial intelligence to accomplish these tasks. In that sense, tonika is one of the most advanced software in its category. And like Capella, it also supports music XML format. Next one is Capella Audio to Score. As the name already suggests, Audio to Score extracts notes from audio recordings, for example, MP3 files, and turns them into a music notation. It also uses artificial intelligence to accomplish this task, and it does not only recognize single notes, but also timbres like wind instruments, string instruments, and piano. So it can distinguish between various instrumental groups. And it does not only recognize music, but it also creates arrangements. So if you have a recognized result and you want to turn it or arrange it for a different instrumentation, you can simply use it and select your desired instrumentation, and it will turn the recognized result into this instrumentation. It also supports Music XML. And finally, I would like to mention Capella Reader. Capella Reader is used if you want to read music, you want to play back music, or practice your part when you're, for example, when you're singing in a choir. And Capella Reader is not only available for Windows and Mac, but also for Android and iOS. So you can take the software into your rehearsal or wherever you go, and the scores are always with you. It also reads Music XML, and you can also share your scores in the Music XML format. So this concludes my short introduction to our software, and I will now hand over to Felix to tell us more about the software.
Thank you, Dominic. Hello and welcome to this introduction to Capella software. My name is Felix and I will be your tour guide for the next 30 minutes, give or take, as we take a closer look at Capella software. We will be mainly focusing on note entry in Capella software itself, in the music notation software, but after that we will also do a little composition in tonika fugata. We will try out a scan, a Capella scan, and I will also show you audio to score in action. Okay, so we have quite a lot on our plate for today. I suggest we dive right in. I will share my screen and we will get started. So when we open up Capella, this is our opening screen and we will just create a little piece of music. For today we will use the score wizard. This helps us setting up our score. We will choose the organ and then we type in the title of our song. This is a German folklore song. Die Gedanken sind frei. It's going to be in C major, 3/4 as a time signature, and we are ready to go. So before we start entering our first notes, there's one thing I would like to point out, is that with Capella, you start with a clean slate. We like to have a very intuitive workflow. It should feel as if you were actually just writing an email or writing a letter. So contrary to other music notation software, with Capella, you don't have any restriction from the start. There is no measures yet, and it's up to you to set up your page as you like. So there are several ways to enter notes in Capella. We will start with the simple keyboard entry, which consists of just typing in the names of the notes that you want to write. And to decide which note value we use, you see up here it's indicated. We can hit the number 1, 2, 4, and 8, for example, to write whole notes, half notes, quarter, and eighth notes. And our song starts with 2 Gs, it's 2 eighth notes. So this is what I'm going to do. Since our song starts with an upbeat, I will enter or insert a fixed bar line like this. And then we can just continue hitting the 4 to enter quarter notes, and we're going to write the song. For example, there you go. As you can see, as soon as you get a little used to this type of note entry, it's pretty quickly. We can listen to it right now if we want. That's the playback function. By the way, I must not forget, if we want to enter rests, of course, this is not a problem. This is just one click with the spacebar to enter the rests in the same way as we enter notes. Just a quick sidebar. We also have the possibility to enter chords, so I can activate a so-called chords mode to enter multiple notes at the same time. Very easy. I will deactivate this now again. We also have the possibility, this is a new feature that Capella has, the multi-selection. So typically you can just select your notes like this if you want, for example, to add a staccato to all of them. Not a problem. And this new feature consists of selecting just a couple of notes like this, and you can do the same thing. You can, for example, also change the stem direction, as you can see, very easily. In this case, I put it back to automatic. Okay, let's say that we want to add some lyrics. It's a song after all. So I'm gonna simply hit the lyrics editor and I will write this now. Done. Oh, my mistake, although this might not be so important right now, but let's stay consistent. This is the German version, and then I will add, this is a translation I'm going to add by Pete Seeger, who sang my thoughts freely flower. I hope that is correct. Flower. All right. Also, let's just imagine that I want the singer to sing very loudly. Why not? I can do this by adding a forte. Now, here's something that I wanted to show you. We have a little problem. This is a collision between the dynamic sign and the lyrics. This is not a problem at all with Capella. When I activate the work mode, you can see that Capella has already identified the problem and offers help. So I can simply click the exclamation point right here, and it corrects the problem right away, automatically. I can also say, activate this object right here, object placement, increase staff spacing automatically. This way, when I change something else which causes a problem, Capella will help me out. So, for example, I have the option to keep the O key pressed in order to shift the note diatonically. I will do this right now. I will just continue. You see, there's a problem again. As soon as I'm done, it gets fixed automatically. All right, now I have to correct this again. I can also use P, by the way, to shift it diatonically. There you go. So I think this basically covers up the keyboard entry. Next, I would like to show you the mouse entry. There are several ways to do this, but the way I like to use it is to simply hold down the control key, which gives me the possibility to add another note wherever I see it necessary. And I could also just continue writing music like this. I can also continue writing like this if I choose to. Very simple and very easy. I'm just gonna undo this for now. Okay. There's another method of entering notes, which is the mouse piano. You can see this right here on the top screen. And this is not just a standard mouse piano. We also have it's called a zebra stripe mode, which is now activated. You see there are different areas marked on the key. And right here, you see we have the quarter note activated, which means that when I hit the C, wait, I'm going to start here. If I hit the G, for example, in this gray area, it will write a quarter note. If I hit it up here, it will write a half note. And down here is going to be the eighth note. So I could, for example, do this. I could just continue the music like so. Okay. I think for now we've covered note entry quite well. You see how easy and well, convenient you can write your music. Imagine for now that we're done with this and I want to save it. I can, of course, simply save it right here. The thoughts. At this point, I can also decide to export it, for example, in the music XML format, which makes it easier to share with people who have other music notation software. I could also export it as a PDF, also very practical, and I can also export sound. So I could, for example, export the playback that we just heard as an MP3. All right, we're almost done with this. I just wanted to show you a little example of a more complex score so that you can see what Capella actually can do when you're working with more complex scores. So right here I will open Ave Verum by Mozart, and I will deactivate the work mode now so that we see it black and white. We could listen to this just like this, but we can also deactivate all the different windows, which makes it easier for us to keep an overview. And we can listen to this right now. You also have the possibility to activate or deactivate single voices, single instruments, not a problem. I think this would be enough for Capella right now, and we will go to Tonika Fugata. All right, welcome to Tonika Fugata. I will simply import the file that we just created. The thoughts, there we go. It's organ as a template. All right, so we have a lot of different options. For example, we can try out different harmonization styles. We will go with this one for now, and I will simply click on Compose Piece to have a composition around our melody. There we go. Let's have a listen. Quite nice. So you can see having a accompaniment to a melody is done really quickly. Let's show you another one. For example, well, this is going to be a little bit of contrast with jazz. Let's see. Okay. All right, so next up is just an example of all the options that we have. The fugue, for example. Now we can just put this one back to Bach and I will just have to change a little bit of settings. So above, below, and the pedal. Okay, and we are ready to have a composition of a fugue. Okay, so let's just listen to this one more time. All right, this will have to be enough for now. As you can see, it is a tool that you can use with a variety of options, and it's a very interesting program to use. Next up is going to be Capella Scan. So this is the opening screen for Capella Scan, and for today I have scanned a music by Max Reger. As you can see, this is actually a printed, you can see it by the shadows. This is a printed score that I scanned, and this will now be analyzed by Capella Scan. I will turn this around, and Capella Scan gives you the opportunity to restrict the area which is analyzed a bit. I will also optimize the image and start recognition. Okay, so as Dominic mentioned before, you can see that the recognition is shown in green, and behind that is the original. This makes it very easy to see if there are any mistakes. Now, this is a very complicated task to do for a computer. There are also always bound to be some tiny mistakes. So I will show you how to correct these. It's actually quite comfortable in Capella Scan. For example, here we see that we have a quarter rest, which is not supposed to be there. I will simply delete that. And to use this symbol, I can simply use copy paste and place it. And you see down here, it's placed in our Capella preview. Next up is this bar. This red bar indicates that inside this measure there's a problem. I will say it's just it just doesn't add up. And when you look closely, you see that this eighth note is recognized as a quarter. I marked it, and I will simply transform it into an eighth note. There we go. Next is, oh, there's one missing. I can simply enter this half note. Let's see. And there is an accidental. Missing, same thing. Copy pastes. We just have to be careful to put it on the right line. There we go. And now this is a mistake that's also quickly changed. I simply marked those to transform it into the correct key. And another accidental. I can use this one. Boop. Now we already know this red bar, something doesn't add up. In this case we have two quarter notes that are supposed to be 16th. And we're gonna link them together. I can even change the inclination. It looks a little prettier. All right. The red bar is still there because, there we go. There's a dot where there shouldn't be a dot. I can simply correct it. There we go. And we have another one right here. You also see there's a dot where there is no dot in the original. Okay, this one is not a missing dot. This is just slightly differently placed. This is obviously not a problem. Now at this point we can simply listen to what we created. Okay, and as you might have noticed, one nice detail is that capella takes into account the dynamics, and crescendo, decrescendo are, used to create a more lively playback. I think this covers capella scan for now. Next will be audio to score. Alright, so let's imagine that you have a piece of music that you don't have the score for example this one. Of course a quite famous piece, and we would like to have the score for this. So what we're going to do is we will open audio to score and we will open this Turkish march to see what audio to score can do for us. Okay, so let's see what audio to score analyzed. So as you see, audio to score had no problem analyzing this recording. And by the way, we can listen to the original. We can listen to the original while we're listening. I will show you because we have a little slider down here to mix it. As you can see, audio to score recognized the music quite well, very well. And as Dominic mentioned before, we can also use this to try out a different instrumentation. For example, we could just check out how this would sound if it was a string quartet. And again, you can use the slider to compare the recognition to the original. So I think in a nutshell, we have been able to check out all the programs and their functionality. But as I told you before, this is just the tip of the iceberg. These are very complex programs with a lot of options, and we hope you get to know them very soon.
Thank you, Felix, for giving us a more detailed insight into our software. I would conclude with some information about prices, downloads, and purchase. Here we'll see a table which lists our software and the regular prices. And in the last column, you will see the special prices for AGO members. Before you purchase the software, I recommend you to download the 15 days free trial version from our download site. And if you have decided to purchase it, then please purchase the software on the AGO member site to benefit from the AGO member discount. And finally, contact us. Specifically for this webinar, we've prepared a survey. We would like to make follow-up webinars. So if you complete the survey, it will help us to give us feedback about what you are interested in. Also go to our website or contact us by email. And finally, I would like to mention our regular newsletter, which is called Inside Capella, which provides you with regular updates, information about Capella software and our products. So thank you very much for your interest. I hope you will join one of our follow-up webinars.